know it's been a while, but guess what? We thought we'd do another overnight camp. The weather's deceptively beautiful at the moment. We are forecast some real heavy rain for at least 12 hours. So as you know, I'm not one of these fair weather campers, preppers, whatever you want to call it. Any weather is fine, it's not a problem. And it's important to grab the opportunities to train yourself whenever you can. Luckily for me, I've got a small gap in my window so I can just get out and do what I want to do for once, which is always cool. And we're going to be going over some kit as well. Some of my new subscribers, you know, to save them watching all the videos, it's like a quick recap of some of the kit and equipment that I carry when I do these camps and when I test myself and train myself with skills, etc. Okay, so the first things first, as you can see that's my PLCE Bergen, capable of carrying 120 litres plus. It's in olive green. You can get these in DPM camouflage. These are slightly more expensive because there's less of them. So if you are concerned about, you know, walking around urban areas with camouflage, there is an option to go green, and they don't really attract a lot of attention. So you can get these from anything from £20 to £60 depending on condition and what they're actually like. This one happens to be pretty good for the price. I paid £50 for this to be delivered as well, total cost. You know, with the exception of a few permanent marker writing over it, it's very, very good condition. There's no rips, there's no tears, there's no scuffs. It's been really looked after. That's another thing which is closer to my heart as well, you know. I really do look after my kit, you know. Don't treat it like shit, because what will happen is if you carry on treating your kit and equipment like shit, when you go to need it and depend on it one day, it could let you down. So if you try your best to maintain it, keep it clean, square it away so it's all good, you know, you should get a lot of use out of it. So without further ado, we better set up camp, because the last thing we want to do is to enjoy the beautiful surroundings, get caught out in the rain and then try and set up. So we've got something new to show you, so let's check this out. Well, I've said this before, but this is for the benefit of the new guys who have just joined. On the top of the Bergen we have the drawstring to pull everything tight together to keep it safe. All this is a tiny little torch. You probably won't see it in the sunlight there, but that's just a tiny little LED by Night Eyes, I think it is. They're relatively cheap, they're under £5, they're nothing really. You can clip that anywhere. The idea why I chose this particular one is you have to twist it to turn it on and off. So it's highly unlikely that will turn on accidentally. If you've got something with a button on there, it could turn on. You know, you could get somewhere, it'll run your battery out and it's just useless. So that's the reason why I chose that, is because it's small, lightweight, and you just clip it on. Now all I've done at the end of the string there, it's already like I think they call it an overhand, I'm not sure, on the end. I've just done another one, probably about 10mm or 1/4 inch behind it, so I can actually clip it in there. And all I've done is I've just tied another little knot there, just to keep it in between so it doesn't like fall all over the place. That way it's not going to end up everywhere, you know exactly where it is. So there's the information on the screen there. My guess is that was made in 1990, as you can probably tell. So, you know, things that are made for the military have the crow's foot, which is this little marking here, or broadleaf. There's lots of descriptions for that. So that just goes to prove that it's been rigorously tested, and you can pretty much bet your life on it that it's not going to just fall apart like some of the cheap copies and civilian versions of kit and equipment. I've always said, you know, you guys who are new to this sort of thing, always start off with buying surplus equipment as best condition as you can. You know, don't get the cheap stuff that's falling apart, it's near the end of its life. Get something as good as you can. Well, you see this? That is a French 2-man ridge tent in that tiny little... Can you believe it? That's insane, isn't it? When I first got this, I'll tell you the story in a sec. When I first got this, I was thinking, that's massive. How am I going to get that to fit anywhere? But, you know, I tried out the first thing I tend to with kit that I think I might have a struggle with putting it in the bag or something. These are British Army issue jungle compression bags for your jungle sleeping bag. Now all a jungle sleeping bag is a very, very thin insulated sleeping bag. and it will fit into this and you can compress it down. Now, recently Scott from Wessex Blades put me onto his Oppo over at Strikeful Supplies. They've got tons of these and they're around £5. It's just ridiculous. £5 for something like this. There's so many uses for these things. In total, I think I've got about 7 or 8 of these now, with all sorts of different kit and equipment in there. Put in there, strip down, and you get permanent marker, and you write on the top what's in there, just to save everything getting muddled up. You know what it is straight away. Now, I'm going to show you on screen now how much the tent actually weighs. You'll be surprised. How amazing is that, eh? That is incredible, to be honest. For something that size, for that weight, for that much space. Now, the story behind this, the overnighter I planned to do today was going to be like a low profile DPM basher setup with camnet, and we're going to be talking over some concealment ideology. But when I popped around to see my friend Simon yesterday to pick up that lovely jumper that I was wearing in a minute, I'll show you that in a minute because that's cool, that's amazing as well. We got a lot to cram in, sorry guys, well excited. Yeah, back on track. He said to me, one of your fans come in here yesterday or the day before. The name's Kieran, he's 13 years old. Alright Kieran, and I understand he's been in Simon's place a few times before. And Simon fixed him up with a great tent at a great price. And Kieran, bless him, he saves up all his own pocket money from paper round, as we all used to back in the day. Yeah, we used to do paper rounds. And bless him, he brought his tent off Simon, and I think he's going to be well impressed. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set this tent up, the same one as Kieran got. I'm going to put some links in the description below the video, which says show more under the video, to where to get these. Now I think Simon has, I'm guessing from looking at it, I think he had about 7 or 8 left. He didn't have many, he just done a clear out and he found them. They're in brilliant condition. They don't come with poles, we don't need poles because we're surrounded by woods, so we can get some wood to prop it up. And yeah, without further ado, let's get this little ridge tent sent up, so I'm dead excited. Now the first thing I've done is I've found a nice spot away from everyone, so no one can see me, so I'm really tucked out of the way. And I'm just orientated to where I'm going to see the sun come up in the morning, which is east, which is that way. So with the sunlight coming in the morning, if there is sunlight, depends on the rain of course, we should be set for some nice scenery. All I've done is I've just made the footprint, laid it all out, so I'm sure that everything's nice and flat, there's no spiky bits underneath, check that first. And just peg out the 4 corners and then go from there. Right, we've got the base set down, there's 8 in total, 1 on each corner and the middle ones. Once you've got that perfectly square and straight and it's not moving all over the place, we need to determine the length of the wood we're going to need to prop up this. Now I suggest you just measure it against your leg to give yourself a guide, and probably add 6 inches to it because it needs to go firmly into the ground. So we need to find something straight and get that taken so we can prop these up. Before we do any cutting or sawing, use gloves. Now what I've done with mine is I've just put a cheap little SB in it just to keep them together, because the last thing I want is them getting separated and lost, so always keep them. And just as a rule of thumb, they always live inside of my trouser pockets, so they're always on me, yeah? The last thing you want to do, as I say, you could rush and go around preparing loads of wood, etc. And you can get splinters, and you know, if you get like injured in places like this, you know, you can't just walk around the corner to the doctors and get sorted. You have to deal with it yourself. So you really got to be health and safety conscious of everything you do. So it's important to protect your hands when working with wood at all times. Right, we just found some old dead wood just hanging around over there. We just zipped it down with the silky pocket buoy. I had this a few years now. It stays in my survival pouch, which lives in the glove box of my pickup truck. Also a bit of kit. I don't use it as often as I like, but every now and again I take it out and I just use it for the weekend. And so far, it's never let me down. There it is there. It's just a lovely bit of kit. It's a pull saw. If you're near the ground, you just press the button and it locks up that way. So you're going to protect your knuckles. But yeah, it's a lovely little tool. Pocket buoy, as you can see, just fits in the hand. So small and so strong and tough too. You can see me because the sun's doing all sorts of shade and whatnot, and I've constantly got to keep resetting the mic on the camera. It says pain. You guys watching get it easy, believe me. Anyway, right, we're going to be using this knife, which was given to me from my good friend in Poland. As you probably saw in a video before this one, when I actually sharpened it, it is like a bloody razor now, if I can get it out with these gloves on. There you go. You take it out slowly, be careful. And there it is there. It's an awesome bit of kit. I've used it a few times and thoroughly impressed. Wow, now it's actually got a very, very shiny, sharp edge. So all we're going to be doing is when you see the branches, they tend to grow in one direction. Don't be cutting them this way, always cut with them, yeah? So the best thing to do, I would say, is to put it under your armpit, keep it sturdy, hold it with gloves, and you just push away. Wow. Yeah, it's probably best to knock them off, because it's sharp enough, it can actually do it quite easy. Yeah. As you should always try and do, always cut away from you, yeah? Don't be giving it none of this stuff. Please don't. As I say, there's no doctors out here. To my knowledge, I'm the only one in this woodland, and if I do myself in, it's up to myself to sort myself out. So always be careful, yeah? Same thing again. Just, wow. Always cut away from yourself with nice and safe. And I'll tell you what, having a sharp knife really does make all the difference, yeah? You shouldn't struggle with a blunt one. Bloody hell. That's crazy. The thing, what I might do is, because the tops of these sticks are going to be sitting inside the tent propping it up, because it's a sharp 90-degree cut on there, I'm just going to take the edges off, I think. I'll put the thick end in the ground, so I need to spike that one, and I need to sort of round off that on the top. Oh wow, this is a bloody joy to use. It really is. Something else, this bloody knife. So I'm just going to work my way through this, and I suppose the next shot I'll show you is once it's all set up in the ground. Being deadwoods is a bit harder than the new stuff, so you've got to bear that in mind, yeah? We don't really want to be chopping down green trees if we can, because you know, I don't think there's enough trees being planted in this day and age, so you want to keep what we have got, you know? Anyway, get back to you soon. Hasn't got nothing pretty, but it's got to be quite a good angle for it to get into the ground easy. That's the end, obviously. And what I told you about earlier, you can see that with the light there, I've just knocked off the edges, so it's not going to be encroaching onto the material too much. But that's the plan anyway. Well, you can only push this in so far. The ground's quite stony, so just look around for anything. It doesn't have to be pretty, just pick it up as long as it's up to it. Keep knocking it and checking it, yeah? Looks about right to me. It should. Fit over the top. Oh yeah. Just right. What we need to do now is to just guy it all out and we should be fine. Well, there she is. It didn't take too long to set up, really, if I'm totally honest. And I think, yeah, if you pay particular attention, if you really want to, you know, pull it out nice and really, really tight and clean, yeah, you could spend time doing that, but for a quick setup here, it's pretty good. I can see this being a good addition to my equipment, actually, considering the size it packs down to and the room you get inside there. The base is rubberized, so you know you're pretty good to go, really. I guess all that remains to be seen is to check it out inside. Right, hoping that we're going to be pretty good to go. I'll give this the once over when I was at home, just to familiarise myself with it and to make sure that there's no holes and whatnot. You should always check it before you come in here, guys. It's always a good idea too. Oh, that's good. There's a little toggle which you can tie this door back. Apologise if you can't hear me all that way. I've got the zoom mic turned up. I'm not sure if it's going to work. think a little toggle could be with doing a little bit bigger to make it easy to pop over. I might have to rethink this. Yeah, I think the strap, you know, which you put the toggle through to secure it, is too long, in my opinion. So what I've done to take the sack up is to twist it, to shorten it, to give yourself a loop. Put the toggle through. She's working right now. Ah, look at this. A nice mosquito net. Try opening as well. All of the zips are YKK. Yeah, no snagging. Very good. Oh, we like that. And also you can tie these back on the inside. Oh wow, that's massive, isn't it? Huge amount of space. It comes with a little tiny bit of woodland as well, which is always nice. Oh yeah, you gotta check this out. Well, this is the hardest thing in the world to film. Some of you guys who don't make videos, this camera is probably about 10 inches from the zip. In fairness, it needs to be about 6 foot away to get everything in shot, so the camera work's not going to be too good. But I've taken off the tripod and it's huge in there. I think I need to get in there to see for myself. This is massive. I'll tell you what, I'm going to lay down on one side just to give you an idea of how big it is. Right, there's my feet, I'm right on the edge. Look at all the space over there. You can fit 3 men in here. Bloody hell. And my head is at the end, and I've got a good, I don't know, probably 8 inches to the end, and I'm 6 foot. It's huge. Wow. I'll tell you what, for something like these little meetings we all go to, like the Prepper Meets, Bushcraft Show, etc., it's a great idea. Because if you're away for a few days, you can fit so much kit and equipment in here. You could do your admin in here without being pushed. You've got some ventilation areas at the top. I liking that. And these here are my boots. All of this velcros away, all the way along, giving you some mosquito netting. And oh wow, you can feel the breeze. That's nice. All the way through. And that will do this side as well. Oh yeah. There you go. So you can have a little view outside through the mesh. That's cool, I like that. I really like that. So of course, if you're cooking in here and you need some ventilation, you've got ventilation there, ventilation all the way down both sides, and obviously all of the front area. Fantastic. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out of here, zip it all up, because you don't want insects getting in there with you. Now what I mentioned earlier was these. I think these straps are far too long, because when you roll it up, it only takes about 1 inch, and that's far too big to go around 1 inch. So as I said, what I've done before is I kept twisting it around to give myself a smaller loop at the end. And then once I put the toggle over it, there's a piece of cake. Apart from that, yeah, I'm loving it. Obviously you've got your zips on the inside. You zip yourself in. And that's good because that's one-handed. Sometimes you have to do that with 2 hands. But to do that one-handed, that's neat. Oh, this is a nice place. Yeah, it makes a change from the old Basher. So this is very, very upmarket for me. Yeah, so far, yeah, it's a great bargain. Brilliant. Right, before we do anything inside the tent, we need to get ourselves insulated from the ground. Now, I'm trialling this, which was kindly sent to me by Pete. Nice one, mate, yet again. It's gifted me with so much stuff. Well, I have to check it out, you know, it's brilliant stuff. This is a sleep mat. As you can see, it's folded. Yeah, it's not rounded. So this is great. You can store it so many ways. What I've been doing so far in the Bergen, which is hanging up there, I've just been keeping it like this with all my kit in it. and bending it round like this, around the front of it. It just protects everything, keeps it all nice and straight and simple, and it doesn't really take up much room. You know, when you consider these, the old ones, they were a bit wider and they would roll about this round. Just a big lump. This, you can fit it at the bottom, you can put it upright, you name it. And also, it's a seat mat. If you're going out and about, you can sit down, keep your ass off the damp floor. It's a great bit of kit. It's not very wide, but it doesn't matter because the most important thing is going to keep your vital organs insulated from the ground, which is the most important thing. I'm 6 foot, standing on the floor. Let me see if I can get it where the wind blowing it. It comes up to there. So it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. You know, you just got to go totally insulated, your legs, everything. Really nice bit of kit. It's not very thick, hence that's why it doesn't take up much room. But you know, the thermal qualities of the materials inside this, freaking brilliant. I've slept in it before a few times now. As you see, it's not very thick at all. But you know, if you want compact and bijou, mate, there it is. Excellent. So we're going to get it in there. This is going to be absolutely shown up by the size of the tent. You can fit 3 or 4 of these in there. You just don't believe it till you see it, really. Well, I've just put it in a tent, and guess what? You know how wide it is? You could fit 3 of them in there. Okay, yeah, it's like 3 inches from the edge, but at a push, especially in a survival situation, mate. Look at that. And again, right over there, so you could fit 3 pods in there. And if you're not very tall, if you're a Gurkha or something, you can put all of your kit at the end as well. Mate, that's incredible, isn't it? So yeah, absolutely friggin' bags of space. You could sleep right down the middle, kit one side, and spare space on the other. Do whatever you want. It's, as I said, it's absolutely dwarfed in this mammoth of a tent. And here's the next layer of insulation. Now, you don't really need this, if truth be told. But, because that's quite thin, and my back's not so good these days, it always makes it easy for me to sleep if I just have a bit more comfort. So to give yourself, I don't know, another 3/4 to an inch comfort on top of that, you know, with the springy ground of the forest, I think we're looking good, you know. Showed this in previous videos. It's just the British Army thermal mat. This is 3/4 length because you don't really need a full length, if I'm honest. There's the information on there. Sorry for the noise in the background with the motorcyclist. It just seems to be in the UK, when the weather comes out, all of the loud bikes come out and they will drive like lunatics all day long until it gets dark. And then when it gets dark, you get all of the boy races in the cars come out, driving around with their 4B1 everywhere. So you can't really escape the noise. Nothing I can do about that, we just got to live with it. And I'm sorry about all the sun and the shade everywhere. Every time I move the camera, the wind affects it. I've got hidden out of the way. You gotta laugh, right? Anyway, on with the show. Right, stow that away. Everyone's out today. It's crazy, isn't it? As soon as the sun comes out, everyone comes out. These are good, by the way. Big elasticated straps. Keeps it all together. Now, for the size, I think I showed this already on a previous video when I've done the long log fire, survival fire. Yeah, it is. Awesome bit of kit. I've used this a few times now and I'm so chuffed that I've got a brand new one. I haven't got to worry about it deflating because I got a second hand one, you know, because you just don't know. So yeah, awesome bit of kit. The size of it from the floor, if I can get it straightened out. Oops, floor. Yeah, it comes up to just below my rib cage. So it's not full length, as you can see, it's a 3/4 length. But the beauty of this, you just twist the nozzle and it just blows itself up. I'm probably teaching you guys to suck eggs, you guys who follow us to me all the time. But some of the new people on the scene, you know, they don't know all this. So everyone's got to learn somewhere, right? So you twist it round and already it's sucking in the air. So we're going to leave that, forget all about it. Leave it for an hour, it doesn't matter. Then later on, more times than often, you will have to blow it up to top it off. But we can crack on while it's getting done. So we'll throw that on top of the little one and see how we're getting on. This is the sleeping bag I'm going to be using this evening. It's the Defense 4 by Carinthia. Okay. You can compress that to all sorts of shapes and sizes. Today I've tried something different. I've tried to compress it inwards but longer. Usually I just do it as a big ball and just squish it down, but this actually sits at the bottom of the Bergen and there's space in front of it and loads of stuff to go on top of it, so it's not just an awkward lump. You sort of get it to the right size you want. Yeah, loads of options for the straps. There's tons of them on there really is. People often ask me, what's the best sleeping bag to get? Now that's the $1 million question, right? For all those who don't know, all the sleeping bag does is actually keep your body warmth from escaping. It doesn't keep you warm, if that makes sense. It doesn't warm you up. I guess what I'm trying to say is all it is insulation. Yeah. So if you've got the best sleeping bag in the world and you get into it and you're freezing cold, guess what? You're going to be cold. So yeah, that's all you got to do. You got to warm yourself up if you are cold and get in it. Zip it up, and all it's going to do is it's going to retain your body heat within the bag, keeping you warm. Your core body temperature, as we spoke about before many times, you keep that constant, you should be fine. I choose to use this as a 4-season sleeping bag. I've used this throughout the whole year. Yeah, I thoroughly tested it on loads of overnighters you've probably seen before, and I couldn't thoroughly recommend it. Yeah, they're expensive, but I broke the rule. I didn't get a brand new one because of the cost. You know, I can't afford expensive items. This was second hand, which I strongly advise you don't do when it comes to sleeping bags. But how I've looked at it, the golden rule: if you get sleeping bags, please get brand new if you can. If not, I chanced my luck. The advert on eBay, if you can believe it, said he's only used it twice. And I must admit, I was thinking, is he full of shit? So I sent him a message and I said, are you seriously, you've only used it twice? Because if it is seen hard use, I'm sending it straight back and I want a full refund. And he was adamant. He said, but mate, he said, I've taken it out in exercise. It's been used for 2 nights, yeah? For 2 overnighters for separate times. And when it come, you know, I could still smell the guy's bloody Lynx Africa or whatever it is in it. So obviously not a very seasoned soldier, because you should never wear any scent or smell in the field. So yeah, I'll give it a good airing out. And mate, it's pretty much brand new. So I'm so happy. It was only 40 quid plus delivery, I think it was, or even delivery. I can't remember now. It was so long ago. But it's an excellent sleeping bag. It's the smallest and the lightest sleeping bag that I own. It's synthetic. I don't own a down one. I've had bad experiences with them before. They punch you, prick you, you're getting wet, you're in trouble. So, you know, that is what I'm going to be sleeping in tonight. Now, the important rule of thumb is you should never, ever, ever wash your sleeping bag. Never do it. Every time you do it, it's just going to degrade its thermal qualities. Yeah, it's just going to compress the fibres, get them wet, get them all smashed up, and it won't keep you warm as it did. All I tend to do is just air it out. That's all you've got to do. Air it out for as long as it takes, and zip it up. In truth, I only compress this probably just before I come out to do these trips. All of the other time, it's opened up fully. You know, they last longer that way. If you keep it compressed for a long, long time in a bug-out bag or something, you're just depreciating your bag. It's not going to be nowhere near as good as it should. Okay, so you look after your kit, look after yourself. Same rule applies. If you treat your kit like shit, you know, don't be surprised when it lets you down and you're shivering your giblets off. It ain't good. So let's get this rolled out, chucked on top of the self-inflating mat, and that's pretty much the setup done. I'm not taking out pillows no more. All I'll probably do is get that jumper rolled up and sleep on that. I've slept to 0 degrees Celsius, maybe -1, nothing much in it, with just my pants and socks on. That's how good these are. But it's important to keep yourself warm before you get in it. Golden rule, okay? So let's get it in there. Right, this is probably the wrong weather to show something like this, but in truth, I've been waiting a long time to get my hands on it. And I'm not prepared to wait until winter time. But this is probably one of the best pieces of kit clothing that I have. Blown away by it, and I didn't know that these existed. A friend of mine had these a while ago, and he got rid of them all, he sold them all, so I was absolutely mortified. And when he was doing the clearing out, he's been doing a lot of moving stuff around, my mate, and he came across a couple. And as soon as I see it, I grabbed it, tried it on, and luckily it fitted. So I was well chuffed. The zip on there was crap. It kept getting stuck halfway, and you had to get it all the way back. It was useless. So the same guy who modified the Lavu for me with all the modifications, he put a brand new zip on it, and it was finished yesterday. So I only just got it back. So it's been a long time coming. What this actually is a cardigan, 100% wool. It's Austrian issue. And I'll tell you what, I'll put it on and I'll show you some close-ups of it. Oh, it's snug as a bug. And the zip is put on there. Well, what can I say, man? It's a proper heavy-duty zip, you know. I say the one that was on there was shit, useless. So for proper winter time, oh, you're not now. This goes right down to below your giblets. It's perfect, you know, and it's a great fit. Nice solid zip in the middle. You've got a little rank patch there you can stick Velcro onto. It's got the Austrian flag symbolism on there. Epaulets for rank on the top. Just stunning bit of kit. As I said, it's 100% pure wool. It's heavy, and my God, will it keep you warm? Certainly. And the best thing about genuine 100% wool products is if they're soaking wet, you will still retain loads of heat. They're that good. You get synthetic stuff and they get wet, man, you start getting cold pretty quick if it is cold there. So it's got a big flap behind the zip, so you're not getting wind going through it. Incidentally, you know, if you guys, if you don't know already, if you wear stuff like this and it's blowing a hoolie, even though it's going to keep you warm, the wind's going to go through it. Yeah, you're going to get cold, even though you've got something as thick and as nice as this on. So you need to get an insulating shield outside to stop the wind chilling you. But this underneath a lightweight outer, fantastic. So everyone's going to bang on about this. I might as well show you now. Yep, I finally got it done. At long last. I've given a few of these away already. They cost me a fortune, so I've got to sell the rest. So I'll talk about them a bit later anyway. Right, the sleeping bag is inside, and it comes right to the front because it is a huge, long sleeping bag. And that's there and there ready. I mean, you could go tactical and stuff and just keep everything in your bag and only sort it out at night time. But the reason I'm doing this, I've got so much to film, I don't want to leave everything to night time when I'm faffing around. So I'm getting it done as I go. That's the reason why I'm doing it. But in a real situation, you'd leave everything in the bag and just put the tent up. But it just gives you an indication of the space there. You know, it's massive. So I think I'm going to be sleeping in the middle. So if I do get up in the night, you know, my head's going to be clear of touching any material. And there's more than enough room for the Bergen to go up the end there, and room for all sorts all around me. Obviously you can open and shut them vents as and when you need to, depending on the conditions obviously. But I just like the idea of having it all open so it can blow through. It's lovely. Here's a bit of fun. We've all got spam, haven't we? Spam, bacon grill, etc. Turn it into a candle. How cool is that? Now, what I plan to do, I've got some a bacon grill one. I'm going to put probably 4 of these wicks. They're massive wicks. They're quite, I think they're about 6mm in diameter, so they're quite good. I'm going to get like one in each corner in my bacon grill can, which I've got at home. And I'm going to fill it, I don't know, probably about ½ an inch from the top with wax. And I'm going to drill holes. I don't know, probably 9mm holes, I don't know, every inch all the way around it. And I'm going to use that as a backup cooker. So I'll just sit it down there, it's got the airflow, you can put whatever you want, doesn't matter if it covers the whole thing because you've got the airflow and oxygen getting in there. And hopefully, rather than just give off light, warm up your tent, you can cook with it as well. So it could be an all-in-one. I'm just going to trial this one this evening. I've cut the wicks just under flush with the lid, just to see
how well it performs, you know, to get some heat into the tent and obviously to light it as well. So yeah, just a little idea. When I was using it the other day, I thought, well, I don't really want to throw it away. You know, it must have some use. Then I thought, do you know what? Sod it. Just make a candle out of it. See how we get on. So yeah, you don't know till you try these things. So why not? Eh? We'll see how it goes anyway. Here's another bit of kit. Yeah, I know. Some of you guys are going, yeah, kit. But I'm only doing this because the amount of comments I'll get was, what was that flask? What was that sleeping bag? What was that tarp? What were them boots? What was your watch? It just goes on and on and on, and I never get around to answering any of them, so people who watch it are none the wiser. So all I'm going to be doing is, throughout the video, I'm just going to be showing you the kit that I'm using on this particular camp, okay? This happens to be a Dutch military flask. Had it a few years now, not really used it that often. It's freaking brilliant. It stays in the vehicle, if truth be known. The mugs are a decent size, as you can see by the size of my hand. It's a good one. You probably get about 3.5 full mugs from what's in here. Now the beauty of this flask, what I like about this the most, was I've seen many flasks out there on the market, and I've got a few of them before, as we all have, and to my horror, the ones that I've found with the little buttons on the top, I don't like them, if I'm honest. You know, free country, I just don't like them. The amount of times if you've got like mechanical stuff which it needs to function, it could fail. And also I've used one for quite a while, and when I decided to strip it down, take all the rings off and unscrew it all and clean it, it was mank. It's disgusting. The amount of germs and crap that lives in that, I'd shudder to think. This I like because it's just a one-stop trick, nice and simple. That's all it is. There's no moving parts in there. You've got two massive big O-seals. Yeah, let me see if that will focus. I've got some drinking chocolate in it, I don't want to knock it over. Right, yeah, there you go. You've got the main ring at the bottom and the secondary ring, and such a nice big wide thread there. It's easy to get it on and off quickly without fiddling around too much. And yeah, when these were available, I got two of these. I've got a backup one just in case it fails. So that's one of the reasons why I really like this piece of kit. It's all top quality stainless steel, as most of you guys know, or you know, I guess. The Dutch military equipment is, in my opinion, right up there with the American stuff as being one of the best in the world. No bullshit, it's seriously well made stuff. So you guys who are serving in Holland, fair play to you guys, you've got some good stuff. Top quality stainless, as you can see, a nice big wide neck on there. And all I've done is I've just put enough drinking chocolate in there to fill it up. So later on, when it gets dark and a bit chilly, rather than dip into the water, I'm going to be drinking hot chocolate. 3 of these full right up to the top, or 3.5 sensible sizes, what you'll get out of it. It looks so well made and tough, and it is, it's bloody bomb proof. Whether or not you could drive a 1 ton plus vehicle over it without smashing it to shit, I don't know. It's possible, but I don't really want to do that in case it breaks and then I've had it. But yeah, it's just love it to bits. It's quite big, as you can see, but from what you're paying for is robustness. You can kick this around a car park for hours and it'll still be fine. So yeah, these are out there and available. I'm not sure what size it is, up to a litre I guess, give or take. Yeah, Dutch Army military flask, top drawer. The Bergen's going to go in there. The EDC, every time I go out, when I film, I always clip it on there. Because can you imagine coming out to the middle of nowhere, doing some filming, and then going back to your car or your vehicle, and guess what? You lost your keys. So I always make a point of clipping it to my Bergen, which always stays with me, which is cool. That's going to go in a tent now. And I'm not sure what to do yet. Depends when this rain comes, I suppose. What I think I might do is make the most of the dry weather and head off for a little walk just to see what we can find out there. It just seems a wasted lay in the tent and wait for the rain, you know. I might as well make the most of it and then get in a tent when the rain does come. Well, I thought what I'd try and do is do what Mind Wiseman does, lay his stuff out inside. And it's not what I'm used to, if I'm honest. It's always in a Bergen ready, but for the amount of filming that I'm doing, it just makes sense to just stow it out of the way. Otherwise, you're spending all your time forever putting stuff away, getting stuff out, and you know, I want to enjoy the experience. You know, there's no enemy approaching. We're in peacetime, so there's no real need to train all the time. So there's the gear that I'm going to be using throughout now until tomorrow, all laid out ready. We've got the food, water, the candle. Well, you can see what's on the screen there. The jumper's up there. I'm not sure if I'm going to be needing that, or I suspect I will. Just wearing a t-shirt is not good when it's night time. So yeah, loads of room there for the Bergen, just to slide up in a corner out the way, which I'm going to do now actually, get it all under there. And take what I need and go for a little trek. Right, before I shoot off for a little walk, the Bergen's up there in a corner. Man, there's so much bloody room in there. I mean, you know, you've got loads of bloody kit everywhere. You've got a DOS bag in the middle, you've got a Bergen, and you've still got a bit of room to move around in. You know, it's pretty cool. You know, the more I'm seeing this tent and the more I'm using it and getting to learn it, you know, for the money, it's a steal, absolute steal. As I say, you don't really need the poles if you're going woodland. You just use wood. That's fine, you know. So yeah, let's go for a little walk then. Right, let's go. I thought I'd go somewhere different. I haven't been here before. This is right on the other side of the forest, right away from where I'm set up. It's always good to sort of walk around your boundaries, you know, just to have a little check to see what's changed, etc. Take a note of more downs trees. There's a few of them, and incidentally, look at the size of that polypore. Flipping Nora. You see that? There you go. It just goes to show. Let me see. That's the size of my hand in comparison. This little baby here, what I've done with this before is if you take them off and if you cut them nice flat surface, let it dry for up to about 4 days it's taken so far for it to really dry out, and then that flat surface which you've cut when it's nice and fresh, you can strop your knife on there and it really does work a treat. It's beautiful. If you want to use this for another use, whilst it's fresh like this, you just cut a section off, whatever you need as a plaster, and you can peel it back, and the fresh inside bit, once you squeeze it, and you can wrap it around your finger or your leg, whatever's cut, and it's really good for healing up wounds. So yeah, keep an eye out for birch polypore, it's good stuff. Right, it's a nice little find. But yeah, there's loads of leaf litter still hanging around from winter. It's tinder dry because we haven't had rain locally, well, not any serious rain anyway, for quite a while, about 10 days, 2 weeks. We had a bit of a downpour last night, but it hasn't really done anything, to be honest. Everything is tinder dry. So if you are doing open fires and places like this, make sure you clear it off first, yeah? You don't want it going up, getting out of control, and you're in a situation which you don't really want to be in. Yeah, there is quite a few down trees. It's always cool to take the materials for that, for your fire, and even some of your shelter building, but check that it's not rotten first. Yeah. Just can't get over this weather. Beautiful. But yeah, if you need any birch bark, more polypore there's plenty of it. There really is, and because it's fallen, it's dead. You know, you can take what you need. See, look, there's some more of it there. A bit of a close up. Look at that burl going on in there. Very nice. You knife makers know what I'm talking about, right? And look at that. If you wanted some firewood, look at this. It's obviously dead, it's fallen, it's just chopped off and it's suspended there. So for firewood, mate, that's brilliant because it's hung in the air and it's dry. And it's like little King Alfred cakes, cramples. There you go. I think they're probably at their infancy. So I don't know, a year or two's time, check on that. If they're big enough, you can pop them off. Makes really, really good firelighting stuff. It's really cool. Just chuck a spark in there, you got an ember. Brilliant. Right, tell you what, let's have a look down there. It's always interesting finding new places, isn't it? I say I'll never come around this part of the world. Maybe I should, you know. From what I was walking on, I believe to be like a little path which dog walkers use. So camping here would be great, but because it's right by the path, it's probably not the best, which is a bloody shame because, you know, dog walkers, I know I bang on about them, but I'm one of them, so I can't complain too much. And incidentally, if you do see bluebells, walk around them, try not to go on them. It's beautiful this time of year, really nice. I'm sorry if there's any wind noise coming across people, but there's not much I can do. Wow, I'm getting excited. This is a lovely part of the world around here. Do you know what? Now I think about it, I think I've done a camp here before. Let's have a look. It seems to bring some memories. I think, yeah, maybe it was. Yeah, I'm positive. I think between these two trees, I had a fire going there as a fire pit. It's relatively flat. I use that tree and that tree. Yeah, I'm sure I've camped here before. Wow, just goes to show, doesn't it? Yeah, I chose it because it's relatively flat. But at the time I didn't know there was a path just behind it, so you live and learn, don't you? So yeah, I probably won't be camping there again, it's too close to the path. Out on the trail with Uncle Funky. Let's see what we can find, shall we, children? Some more of these beautiful bluebells. They're everywhere. I'm not sure if they're... It seems to have to bloody focus everything, you know? There we go. I'm not sure if these are native or the French ones. Maybe someone could correct me on that. But they're everywhere. I haven't come across a big area of massive carpet yet. We're maybe, I don't know, a week too early, I'm not sure. But they are out there, they're everywhere. Let's see. Seems like a little footpath that I'm walking on at the moment. Actually, it's too well used to be deer. I guess some people have been down here before. That's the thing with woodland; it's very deceptive, you know, because you know you feel you're on it here on your own. You know, other people come and go all the time, you just don't see them. Wow, a water source. Nah, that's interesting. See if there's any tracks down there. Not sure what that's all about. Just a little hole, no markings. It just seems to be a bit too messed up to spot any tracks at the moment. But I'm guessing at some point there's probably been a bit of a crossing for some animals. You know, just because you don't see animals, they're here, believe me, they're in every woodland. You just got to know what you're doing and look for them. Might be cool to do a little bridge over there at some point. Wow, I wonder what's over there. We'll keep going and have a look. Well, just a little bit further along the trail, and the water source is still going and going quite well. But look at this widowmaker, this big down tree. There's quite a few down trees, and it's always cool to get your firewood from these. But look at it, it's massive. But what I'm thinking, because of the cam and the cover there, and we're quite a way past the track now, and that's uphill. I suspect it's about 80 to 90 yards that direction. So we're well concealed here. What I'm thinking for future videos is to turn this as my central structure for a shelter, a debris shelter maybe. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? It's relatively flat level, which is what you're looking for. You don't want to be on a slope. It's right near a water source. You're away from prying eyes and everything else. It's got a good amount of cover, especially summertime. It looks like it hasn't been down for that long, because there's no, it's not green on it actually. It's the hazel, which is green, that it's entangled with. So yeah, the cover is good, and it's relatively strong. I can't foresee it shifting anywhere. It seems to be pretty well bedded in there. That's not moving nowhere. So yeah, that's a good height for a shelter too. Probably 2 to 3 feet off the ground, and yeah, all of the deadwood that you see all over the bloody place. You know, you can turn this into an half decent shelter. Yeah, I'll definitely have to come back here, I think. All the possibilities are endless, aren't they? Right, we hopped over the other side of the stream now, and following the base of this fallen tree. As you can see, it's it's proper gone, and we found out where it's come from too. So it's just like a tooth coming out. It's just come out pretty much. And if you look up and you see how tall and narrow these trees are, you know, with the wind, especially this one, the way it's leaning, the way they sway around, it's just a matter of time, you know, before they just break off. And you can see where the Berlin's going on there, where they've got some disease. You know, at that point, that's where it's weak, and the wind's just toppled it exactly where it is. So yeah, so you really got to be careful where you do set your camps up. So because that's on the floor and it's leaning against all of that, it doesn't appear to be going anywhere. I think it's pretty cool to camp under. Guess what? I remembered the list. I'm sitting on that fallen tree, by the way, and the more time I spend here, yeah, the more I think I might come back. Nice one. Some shout-outs. I always seem to forget my list, but this time I remembered it. So we're going to breeze through these as fast as I can, because if I spend too much time per person, this is going to be like a 3-hour video. And you know, as much as I like to talk, let's get it out of the way, shall we? Some of the guys off of the MTFU, Man Up. I think these guys are on Facebook. I don't go on Facebook myself. But these guys also are on YouTube, so I'll get to see their content on YouTube. So we're saying hello to 0 Pence. I met this guy once or twice on some of the prepper meets, and mate, the guy is in the same sort of, I don't know, dare I say the word, category as, oh god, I forget the guy's name now. He makes all the stuff from stuff. Not Stokey Joe, Stony Broke Bushcraft, that's it. He finds bits and pieces that people throw out and he turns them into something. So mate, brilliant. I've always wanted to do stuff like that, you know. If I had the time, you know, to do that, I'd just be in my element, you know, because it's wicked, recycling stuff. And yeah, 0 Pence, I watched a few of his videos, not many, probably about 6 or so over the last few months. One of the one that springs to mind was when he was at his forge and he made the squirrel cooker, which everyone seems to buy, you know, these 2 pieces of metal where you cook stuff. This one that was made by hand is awesome. I'm hoping that he comes to the prepper meet, the 300 prepper meet this year, because if he brings it along, I'm definitely going to cover that in a video, because you guys really need to see that. It's an amazing bit of skill, British craftsmanship, you know, it's beautiful. So hi to 0 pence. Also getting my hands on one of these little knives that he makes to go in survival tins. So that should be coming anytime soon. So yeah, we'll definitely show that in the video, because that's a wicked idea. Mac Tightwad is also on the MTFU, and they sort of club together and they give and receive stuff for people. I think it's awesome. It's brilliant. You know how, you know, it's hard for people, you know, like myself or people who aren't in groups to get money to give people stuff. But when you're in groups, you've only got to give a little each, and it's easier. And you know, all of them have been given something, and because they all interact on these little Facebook groups, I think there's a general consensus of everyone knows what everyone has, what everyone needs, what everyone wants, and they sort of help each other out. So that's fantastic, you know, brilliant. So Max Tightwad is a good part of that. Essex Plodder, Barry, is also in the group, and yeah, is man, he takes some kit when he does these camps. Fair play to him, mate. And the only thing I need to say about Barry is I'd really like to see him smile more. Sorry, Barry. Oh, it drives me nuts. You know, people who don't smile. You know, wow, it's such a shame. But there you go. It is what it is. And Shovel Recce, I believe, is in the group too. Paul, really nice guy, and is a man after my own heart. We're into the same sorts of quality military kit that we test, we like, we use, we keep. That's it. And the guy's been in the reg, so he knows his stuff. So it's always good. So that's some of the MTFU guys. I don't know how many in the group, but there's about 4 or 5 there. They're lovely people. I'm calling these the West Side Boys, because they're like west from where I live, in central Hampshire. Forest Prepper. What can I say about Forest Prepper? He is really exploded onto the scene in the UK prepper community. For what he's done for other people, it's incredible. You know, I've only met him a few times, and he is a nice guy. You know, you can just tell. And the stuff that he gives to people, I don't know how he affords it, man. He must have given away thousands, but my God, what a lovely guy. And he organises his own camps as well, so people in the local area can go. And it takes some organising and some doing. But you know, Paul, where you find the time, mate, only God knows. But wow, fair play to you, mate. It's brilliant. Ramdor 72, Richie. What can I say about Richie? Fantastic. He's got a zest for life. He just really got the bug. He's getting out there. He's learning. He's sharing. He's buying kit. He's trying it, which is what it's all about. And the top guy too. I've met him. Really nice bloke. Woody Wood Prepper, mate. You know, this guy. He is the A team all in one. You know what you can't make out of stuff, and what he doesn't know about stuff. And you know, I spoke to Ian, Woody Wood Prepper, in depth at the Bushcraft show for a good 4 or 5 hours, and my God, what a lovely person. Spot on. As is Brummy Prepper, his sidekick. Yeah, what a guy. And mate, these guys have been doing some off-roading lately, and that's cool to see. That's really wicked. King's TLC as well is part of the West Side boys. Oz as well. All right, mate. That's the West Side guys, and a couple of youngsters as well. I think I might have to be quick, because I think it's just starting to rain, and I'm probably about 15 minutes away from camp, so I don't really want to get caught out. So we'll have to hurry this along all the way to the US of A, and these guys watch my videos, and recently contacted them via Instagram, because you know I do go on there more than YouTube because it's convenient. It's Prepped Mum, Amanda. Hi Amanda. All the way in the US of A, bless him, and the son Dawson. I think they call himself the Bushcraft Kid. 5 years old. He loves watching my videos. Roaches and Mind Wiseman, you know, us three, or the famous 5, you know, Mind Wiseman, what is it, Armoured Cockroach, we got Lone Wolf, and we got Wild Soul 62, South, it's the famous 5. So yeah, them guys are wicked, and you know, to see these people getting into, you know, being self-reliant, one eye in the future, and learning stuff, you know, it's so much better than doing this than sat on your ass watching TV, you know, rubbish. And last but not least, Kieran. Kieran is over in the UK. He's 13 years old. Kieran recently went to Wilderness Leisure, which is where I got the tent from. He's got the same. So this video is for you, my friend. I'm dedicating this overnight to you because from what I've been hearing about Simon, who owns the place, you're a fine, upstanding young man with a zest to learn, and that's brilliant to hear. You know, the more I can help youngsters get into this ideology rather than just wasting their time on those Xboxes. You know, it's such a shame. You could be learning so much, but you just, you know, it's their life. But you know, this guy, 13 years old, and is coming to the prepper meet as well. So I look forward to meeting you, Kieran, at the 300 prepper meet here in the UK. And I don't know if you can hear it, but it's starting to rain, so I've got to pack up and bug out. See you soon. Oh, shit.